Hello, am I up? Ooh. I'm not sure if the audio is up. I'm live? Okay, so this game we start time from the first QTE, so I'll let you know when we get there. There's a small cutscene first. I just wanted to start here because I thought I would let chat choose. Wait, I'm on normal, right? Yeah. Choose what costume I use. First costume yelled out in chat we will use. So, if anyone wants to yell out one of the costume names real fast. Okay, we got the Bogeyman. Alright, so I'll let you know when time starts. It'll be at the first QT. We're just gonna go through this cutscene first. Shoutouts to Princess Ragna with the fastest request.
Are they here?
So, this game starts with a dream sequence similar to Silent Hill 1 and 3. Since this is one of the American ones, I'd say it's more like a throwback to them, like, I'm forgetting the word, but you know where it's like copying is the sincerest form of flattery, but it's not actually copying, it's... words are failing me, I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, so we're gonna start off in this dream world tutorial area, and it's gonna be pretty basic to begin with, but once we get past that, we'll get into a lot of silly business with our gun, which I don't know if I want to explain now while I have the time, or save it for when it shows up, because it's pretty silly. Homage is the correct term. Thank you, Turbo Dog. But yeah, so the first QT is going to be on the gurney in the bed here in a few seconds. I'll count us in, and then we'll be off. This area is pretty much all the codes and everything are the same every time, so it's all just memory. You can see our big dumb metal head just sticking on the table here. So, okay, I'm gonna start in 5. Whoa! That was my controller disconnecting. Alright, cool. Okay, I'll start the countdown again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, that was scary. This is a wired controller too, so if it breaks, I'm in trouble. But hopefully it will not. I'm gonna try not to move the cord at all, so... yeah, we wake up in this dream hospital, and we see our brother. We're like, we gotta go save our brother. So we have to chase him. You're supposed to go and find the code for this, but it's the same every time. Inputting that code fast is actually really awkward because the controls almost feel weighted on it. So if you try to do it too fast, it'll actually lag and just eat your input. And if you get the wrong number, you can't just back out and go back in or anything, or go back one. You have to clear the whole code and do it all again, which is awful. Like, you may as well reset that early in the run, but... so you need a specific time. Most of the cutscenes in this game are skippable. There are a few that aren't. This is one of them. Most of the ones in the beginning here aren't. There's, strangely enough, there's some tech that's only relevant in the tutorial, which is pretty funny. It's supposed to be like advanced strategy stuff for the game, but it's really not. This is our introduction to swapping to the other world, and we get nurses right away. And yes, Turbo Dog is correct. The most horrifying thing about Homecoming is the PC port, which I recommend none of you ever buy. Do not give them money for that. It is the worst port I have legitimately ever seen of any game. So we're just gonna avoid the escalator. That's not an escalator, that's a wheelchair. Anyways, so here's some of the advanced tech. These enemies are attracted to light, so we jump in with our flashlight on, and then turn it off immediately as I get in, so it causes the enemies to walk back towards the window I jumped in from, so they don't bother me while I try to go through this door. That's like the only place it's useful. I turn my flashlight back on here because the bugs, I don't know if it's just a placebo feeling, but it feels like they're more aggressive if your lights are out. So I just want to be careful, but yeah, so that's our flashlight enemy manipulation, which is completely relevant at all points in time. There's a few other strats that you can do to manipulate those nurses so they don't hit you, but I just find jumping in and turning your flashlight off the most effective and consistent. Oh god, I got 3 bugs. So normally I wouldn't kill these bugs, but 3 bugs is like a 1 in 200 chance of happening. Like, it's so rare to get 3 bugs like that. And if you do, you'll lose too much health and you'll start limping, so it's actually slower than just killing. Oh, my flashlight didn't go off there. It's actually faster to just rip them off than to lose too much health. That was Marathon RNG for you right there. I said it was placebo that having your flashlight off like makes enemies more aggressive, but there's also a few costumes I feel make them more aggressive. This is one of them. But again, it's probably just placebo. It hasn't really been tested. It's just I don't normally get those. So here's some more tech that's only relevant in the
Is that you?
in the tutorial. If there's a cutscene right behind a door you smash open, it's faster to then roll in because you can roll immediately. When you slam a door open, you have to wait a second before you can walk. So there's 2 places in this tutorial where it's relevant, this being one, and there's another one somewhere else.
Is there anything I can do?
You're also gonna notice the head clipping into a lot of stuff in cutscenes, I'm pretty sure. Like, my flashlight right now is clipping through it.
Okay.
So we find Josh and he's like, I want my bunny. Go find me my bunny, which everyone wants a bunny. Bunnies are great. So we're gonna go get his rabbit, his Robbie toy. Which, if anyone's played like Silent Hill 1, there's the other cutscene roll. If anyone's played Silent Hill 3, it's in 1 too, right? It's in 1 and 3, and I don't play as much 1. I mainly play 3 and Homecoming. Yeah, the head's just like clipping right through his body. So here's just a QTE to hopefully not fail. If we fail, we die, and that would be really awful to have happen in a marathon. Yeah, no, I turned the flashlight off there. So here, I just go into the menu to use the rabbit. It kills the bug on me, so I don't actually have to kill it. And you don't actually have to look at him to use it, you just have to be in front of him, so... we just hit this, and we're done with the tutorial. So, we have another unskippable cutscene here, where we're going to see the actual boogeyman. It's the only time in the run we actually see him, so I guess we're making up for it by being the boogeyman ourselves. We don't even actually see him, we just kind of get killed by him. But yeah, so this game's clips are pretty wacky. They have specific setups that are half RNG and half not. There's probably a place you can soft lock. There's a lot of places you can soft lock if you fail a clip. There's like a lot. If anyone saw my last time I ran this in a marathon when I was doing all bosses, I did get a soft lock in the Hell's Descent area right before Scarlet. However, this is New Game Plus, so we will be skipping that, so there's a much smaller chance of soft locking in this. Your game can randomly crash and soft lock at any point too. Like, it happens a lot less on the 360 port. 360 installed to hard drive is the most stable port. PC is the worst. But yeah, so it very rarely happens on 360. I do have some safety saves in case if it does. Just hopefully I won't have to use them because you only have so many saves, so they're not super close together. Also because we skip a lot of the save points. So we just have to get to our house here and run through some cutscenes. And then we'll skip half the game. And I'll show you clipping. But yeah, so if you want to run this, load times are also fastest on 360 installed. I would highly recommend it for fastest times, but you definitely can run it on PS3 or not installed. I ran it on not installed for a long time when I first started. Do not get PC. Sometimes the ground just won't load in an area on PC and you'll just like enter an area and fall to your death and garbage like that. That's strange. It's pretty dumb. I'm gonna do a safety strat here and grab this flashlight. We don't actually have to, but just be safe. And then I'm gonna get the laser pistol. So, guns in this game are really broken. And hopefully I can get this right away. Getting the pull here is somewhat RNG. How you handle it is not. So hopefully I can get this really fast. So to clip, you kind of just strafe against a wall and aim. And I'm getting really bad luck here. It's not giving me a pull at all. You can kind of see I'm getting pushed whenever I aim. I want it to pull me towards the wall, which I am not getting. This is my #1 run killer because of this. Yeah. Like, right now this clip's my #1 run killer, so once we get past this, it'll be about much better. So as you can see, I'm starting to pull into the wall, and I want to turn myself slowly as I enter it, so that I end up perpendicular sideways with my shoulder jutting out. Oh god, I almost had that. I don't know why it popped me out at the last second. That's unlucky. I think I turned a bit too fast there. As TurboDog said, it's hard to see with this helmet on. It's very hard to see where I am in this clip. The other clips aren't as bad, but this one's just... This is just something else. There's a clip at the end of the game, which pretty much no one else really does in runs. It was considered segmented only, and I'll try to do it. But I'm like the only one who does because it's that awful. Alright, so this one should work. You can see I'm kind of sliding through the door to the other side. You're supposed to beat 2 bosses to get a knife that you use to get a key for this door, but we're just going to not do that and clip through instead, and we've skipped half the game. We've skipped Sepulture and Scarlet, so that Hell's Descent softlock I had in my last run we don't have to worry about. That unfortunately wasn't a very good clip, but that's one of the more finicky ones in the run, and I didn't manage to clip myself and fall out of bounds and have to do new game strats, so I mean it's better than it could have been. We didn't have a complete disaster. So now we just have to do this puzzle to get some items. And I took the flashlight so I can see the clip up here, because if you don't have the flashlight, it's really hard to see up here. And I got that first try, so that's really good. Usually that one can take a while as well. And so we come down, I get the... Okay, so if you take the flashlight, something really weird happens there, compared to if you don't. At the top of the stairs is the cutscene for when you go downstairs with the flashlight the first time in the game. But in the cutscene, it loads you into a place where you then are, like, in the cutscene, walking to where you load the second cutscene that would be after you've done Otherworld House. So effectively, it loads the first cutscene from the flashlight, which normally we don't grab, so it wouldn't do this. But then it loads the second cutscene, because within the cutscene, our model has moved to the point where that cutscene's trigger is, which is really weird. There's a strat here where you can do this all blind, but it's much slower because it's a lot more finicky. Also, I would like to complain about menuing in this game. So your menu is on a like 360-degree scroll wheel that you use your stick for, and it's really unreliable. Okay, so just shoot that guy to get him out of the way. I didn't kill him, but because he didn't walk all the way into a room, his spawn is still... language. What am I saying? His trigger is still making him walk towards the door, so as you see, he needs to go into that first door before he starts doing any other movement after he spawns. So because we closed the door, he's just gonna walk into that wall for the rest of our time here. But yeah, so we just have to do a bunch of different puzzles here. And you're gonna see me doing a lot of clips to drop down from one floor to the other. It's faster than backtracking and climbing around. I just hit B by accident there. Unintentional. Not fast. So we get all of these and then just have to menu this and hope we don't mess it up. And so that's our second puzzle done. We have two more. I'm gonna clip back down, hopefully. If it will let me. There we go. So we clip into here and drop back down to the main floor. So you don't have to backtrack that whole way. We've got two more floors to cover, or two more puzzles, I guess, which we've been picking up items for. Oh yeah, we also have like all the weapons now, except for the good knife. So because we skipped the two bosses where you would get the good knife, for some reason we get all the other weapons doing that skip except for the better knife. And there's parts later on that you need the better knife to unlock stuff, so we had to find clips to get around that, so that we could actually continue. Because the upgraded knife also works as a key in many places. You'll also see some more advanced clips later on that use the shotgun as well. The guns have different properties. The pistol pulls you forward and slightly to one direction, which is why you'll always see me turn to one direction. And then the shotgun pushes you out based on a specific direction instead of pulling. So you can use them in conjunction if there's two walls right beside each other, like an invisible wall and a real wall, where you can just... that's a slow pull. Oh well. This is a very slow pull. You want it to be faster, so you get pulled into a wall faster, but it's still okay. But yeah, as I was saying, you can get stuck between two walls and then use the shotgun to push yourself out of the opposite wall than the one you, like, pulled yourself in from. Which you'll see soon. I hate this menu. Getting that first knife is so awkward. The control sticks just aren't sensitive enough, and if you release them after like pointing the right direction, it can like even the smallest movement can just change the direction. So even if you like release it and it returns to its basic position, it can like just tap in the completely opposite direction, and it makes no sense. It's bad, but we are done with Otherworld House now. So we'll be moving on. We've lost our helmet here for this unskippable cutscene. There's very few of them, but when there are, we are always in default outfit for some reason. I'm not sure why they decided that. So, I don't know why they decided to do this, but we get an unskippable cutscene, a loading screen, two cutscenes, a loading screen, and then a cutscene, which is pretty obnoxious. We can skip all the other ones, but we can't skip this first one. Is it unskippable? Yeah, so loading screen. And this is awful if you're not on 360 installed, because you have to sit through two loading screens right beside each other, and they're much longer. So yeah, two cutscene skips, then another loading screen, and then another cutscene to skip. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty bad game design, but... so now we're actually in Silent Hill. All that other time we're in Shepherd's Glen. There's this whole plot thing about your parents and them and like the leaders of your town. The great ancestors didn't want to worship the cult Silent Hill does, so they made their own cult with their own eldritch gods to protect them from Silent Hill's eldritch gods. It was just like, who has the more evil god? And they're all supposed to sacrifice their firstborns, but something goes wrong and you are supposed to be sacrificed, but you weren't, and we've returned to the town as everything's falling apart because we've lost the god's protection and they're angry, and most of the bosses are like the gods inhabiting the children of the other townsfolk's firstborn. And then we like, I'm pretty sure this is in Silent Hill, I actually forget. So we're heading to the penitentiary.
Wheeler, are you there?
Yeah, Overlook
Wheeler,
Penitentiary. You'll see me do a quick clip here, coming up where I use the shotgun. Hopefully it goes right away. I find it kind of finicky getting into the wall here sometimes. And then there's a few interesting things in this next area we're coming up on. We'll actually get some combat too, because we've skipped pretty much all of that, besides that one enemy I shot twice. Alright, so... Okay, so I want to get in between the wall I just clipped into and an invisible wall, and then I use the shotgun to pull myself through, as I mentioned. Or push myself through. And we're now in the penitentiary. That skips a bit more gameplay, because you're supposed to go find a different way into here, but we can just clip through that wall instead. There's an alternate clip. There's a clip here I could do where you clip through this gate, but it only saves about 1 second, and there's a chance you fall through and die. Also, if you skip this cutscene and you don't go through here fast enough, the gate will close, and then next time you try to open it, you probably just heard it close. Next time you try to open it, the cutscene will like soft lock you. So if you don't make it through first try, you're just done for. Because second time you go in, the cutscene just doesn't end, and then if you try to skip it, just restarts it. It's really dumb. And the fact that like no one tested that with how fast it closes is kind of ridiculous. I don't know if it only does it because we clipped in though. I've never actually tried if I did casually. So these are order soldiers. They die one hit if you hit them in the head. I missed, so I needed to hit them twice to kill them. We're trying to save Wheeler, who is a police officer that we have skipped every scene with so far. As you saw, my shots went like through his head.
There's a switch over there.
Your gun isn't actually centered to where you're aiming. It's like slightly off to the side, so you actually have to keep that in mind, because if it's close to you, you just get wrecked. I tried to wait and roll right before the cutscene started, but I didn't do it fast enough. If you can roll right as the cutscene starts, you'll roll in the cutscene and get closer to the door. So you'll end up being able to get to this ledge before Wheeler and jumping across before him, so you don't have to wait. And it saves about 5 seconds or so. I waited too long and didn't roll fast enough, but it's not a huge time loss. It's kind of tricky timing to get because it's based on when the enemy dies, but sometimes like the enemy dies at different times depending on if Wheeler's shooting it as well as you or if he's running away. So we've got another short unskippable cutscene here, and then we're going to move on to a series of clips. They're some of the harder ones in the games, but they're pretty consistent if you can get used to them. There's one that can drop you off in a cutscene that'll spawn you somewhere else, and we don't want that to happen because we'll lose a bunch of time, because we'll have to backtrack and do the clip again. So hopefully it won't happen, but there's still the chance. I'm going to try to do a safety strat so it doesn't, but this is the first clip. We're trying to actually get into a room that's adjacent to this room, not actually in the room directly across. And because of it's in, on the other side, it has an invisible wall, so we have to try to clip in a specific spot so we get in between the invisible wall that won't let us clip through. So it looks like I got it. You can kind of see the hole between the wall over there. And we just kind of pop up on this desk, and then off of it, hopefully. Yeah, and then we need to clip through this gate here. I feel like it's faster to clip on the other side of the pole, but I find there's also a higher chance to hit the cutscene, which we did not hit, although I'm kind of stuck. Moving here is a little awkward because we are technically out of bounds and walking on top of something that's not textured properly. But that skips most of this area, and we are now in a QT about what we do with our mom. She's on a giant stretcher. We just leave her. And now we're in the Otherworld Penitentiary. And we just got some puzzles to do, and then we're gonna have a boss. And the boss coming up is really annoying. Its name is Asphyxia. Everyone's gonna make Human Centipede jokes, even though this came out like a year before Human Centipede, so doing that right away. And you'll understand why everyone makes Human Centipede jokes. I completely understand it, but this boss is really dumb. It doesn't follow its proper mechanics right. Sometimes it won't change its it has 2 phases, and sometimes it won't go into its second phase when it should. And then it also has a habit of tracking you, so even if you dodge it, it will pivot on its base without actually moving or using a moving animation and instantly re-grab you and stuff like that. So it can really mess you up if stuff like that happens, because of course if it does that, there's pretty much no way to avoid it. So hopefully that won't happen. It's pretty annoying when it does. We've also got a few enemies here. In New Game, you just run by and let Wheeler kill them. In New Game Plus, you can shoot them yourself. I just shoot the one. They block shots if they're in front of you, so I just kill one and then hope Wheeler kills the other. So this is Asphyxia up here. Her first phase, she hits you a bunch and spits acid at you. Hopefully we'll get to not have any acid attacks. There's actually a specific spot where it seems like she goes into second phase faster if you hit her. It's like right around that shoulder there. Yeah, we got the acid attack. That's okay, she should be in second phase now, so we want to dodge her and then just shoot the tail. And because the laser pistol does a bunch of damage, we kill her almost instantly. So that boss went nice and fast. That was a pretty good fight. We unfortunately got a poison attack, but we didn't get auto track grabbed, so that's always a win. And we didn't get knocked down. If she knocks you down with the poison attack, she'll run up and hit you on the ground before you can get up. You'll be like halfway in the animation of getting back up and she'll hit you. And you can't dodge it, you just take it. It's really dumb. If you time it perfectly, it's kind of like teching in Smash. If you hit to roll as soon as you hit the ground, I think, it's A button or B button. It's one of the two. If you hit them right before you hit the ground, you'll immediately jump up and you can dodge it. But the way the knockback animation in this game works is it's just really inconsistent and dumb. So we skip pretty much all of this area. There's a few skips here. This one can be kind of tricky because you need to do it in a somewhat specific spot. Like I need to be right around this block to get into a wall. Otherwise you can get dragged up and down the stairs and not into the wall, right? But it looks like I'm in the wall. So I can just use the shotgun again to push me out. Here. And this is just a short, unskippable cutscene. And then we have 2 more quick clips and we'll be done with the church and on to the final area. So there's actually a way to dupe the laser pistol. Oh, it's echoing. Why? Okay. So I need to clip into here, which I need to get a pull. As I said, the clips are somewhere RNG because it's like you're not always going to get the like pull into a wall, but what you do in the wall almost is always consistent, or it's somewhat consistent. This, I'm a little too far to the bars and that's causing issues with this. So this might be a little interesting trying to get out of here. And it might be faster to just redo this. because once you get in the bars, I don't think I can actually get back out that way. It was a bit too far to the left, and now I'm paying for it. Okay, we made it through, thank goodness. Yeah, if you get caught in the bars there, it can be a little tricky to get through. You don't want that to happen. Hey, I got that trick first try though. That trick's really weird. Different people have different setups. Mine is a specific timing point in your turn where you want to turn enough. It's like a mix of timing of how far into wall you're pulled and your speed of turning. It can be pretty tricky sometimes. But we got first try because I am amazing, of course. And then we just aim here over and over again for it to finally drop us so we're not on top anymore. And then go pick up this hazmat suit and we are pretty much done with this area. So this cutscene here at the beginning, you can't actually skip if your game's not installed to hard drive on Xbox, otherwise it'll soft lock you, but because it is, I can skip it safely. Otherwise you have to wait for it to get farther into a cutscene. If you don't, you just get drilled here forever. Also, the head flipping around with that mask actually looks hilarious. So I'm pretty sure that drill is already in my head, like it's clipping into it pretty far. So just some QTs here. I'm gonna go for the I'll go for not the segmented strat, but I'll go for like close to the segmented strat here. I'll do like a mix of segmented and safety. Oh, that's bad RNG for him to hit me like that. I get hit again here. Okay. So we just need to get the gun in this key. Okay. We got some safety. And that's the other safety. Okay, segmented strat did not go off, so... Okay. I need to make sure I get at least one headshot on each of them, so they all die in one knife combo. Otherwise it takes like 7 knife combos and it's awful. So I got a headshot on everyone at least. So that's good. And this is a pillar boost. This is the only time you'll see it in New Game Plus. You see it more in New Game, or in all bosses. And it can be kind of finicky sometimes. Like right now it's not wanting to work right. But when you clip into a pillar, sometimes it can just give you a bunch of height. And you just pop to the top like that. Yeah, even if you have the Order costume, you still need to pick up the suit. We've tried different ways to get past that. Even if you have like infinite heals and just heal yourself all the way to the end, once you get to the end, there's just a kill trigger where if you're not wearing the suit, you'll die instantly. So this is another one of these clips where I'm gonna clip in and then use the shotgun to push me out. Sometimes this clip can be finicky, but we got first try, which is really nice. I'm actually coming up on the last boss. There's just 2 more clips and then the last boss, so we clip into a cutscene here. And then we have to go around in the dark here, open a door, skip another cutscene, and then go to another door. In New Game, you also have to grab a gun blind like that, which kind of sucks. So I'm gonna try the hardest clip in the game, which is considered segmented. Well, it was considered. I've started doing it, so hopefully I can get this right away. The hardest part I find is getting a pull. It doesn't like to give pulls, but I also have to be really careful here how I turn, so it doesn't push me out. I don't. Oh, okay. So I just got that like first try, and that's the hardest clip in the game. That's pretty good. So I'm about to fight the I'm about to fight the last boss after these cutscenes, and then it'll be time. There's a QTE to kill at the very end, so I'll tell you when time is. So this is the last boss. It has 2 phases. Laser pistol is broken. We just shoot her a few times and get to the first phase. Sometimes you can get a little glitch where it shows you like just facing away from her, standing in front of her. I don't know what causes it, but it's pretty funny. And, oh, I got it. You saw me for a second facing the wrong way. So time is now. And that is that's the last boss. I do not know what my time is. That went way better than I expected. I did not expect to get that segmented clip first try. I expected to be there for a few minutes. But yeah. I did not expect this to go nearly this well. Most of these clips take like 5 tries, and I got like at least 3 of the hardest clips in the game first try. So yeah, 32:56. Jesus, that's actually a really good time. I think that would be 3rd place on the leaderboards. I'm currently 2nd. But yeah, thank you all for watching. My PB is 31:20. If I didn't have trouble with the first clip in the game, this could have been a PB. What could have been? This game's just, this game's just super inconsistent. So I had to give myself a lot of time, because you never get clips that good. Oh. Yeah, I guess we're ahead. Sorry for the high estimate. I didn't quite expect it to go this well. My sum of best, or my averages, put me at about 36, and it can still go really bad. Like, I have some runs that go like 42 minutes, so I decide, hey, let's be safe. But, ooh, that's impressive even for me. I would not have ever expected to get a run that good in Marathon. Especially not with that last clip. That was... I'm so happy I managed to get that last clip first try. I love how the head pokes out of the... It pokes out of the little manhole cover before it moves up. That's great. So... I'd like to let this cutscene play. It'll give time for the, for the next run setup, hopefully. But, this is also just the best ending in the game.
So that's where they've been taking everybody. I knew it!
It was aliens all along. We all should have listened to Wheeler. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Homecoming's really a fun game. If you want to check out other Homecoming runners, I'd highly recommend checking out Starwin, who is the current world record holder in most categories. TurboDog, who is just on before me, is a very good New Game Plus runner. He's currently in 3rd place. Keki runs pretty much all Silent Hill stuff. Check him out. Ecticus, I'm sorry if I pronounce that wrong, is like the only person brave enough to run this on PC, so I need to shout him out as well. And just, yeah, shout out to the community. They put a lot of time into this game and finding clips. And, yeah. So if you ever want to check it out, we're very happy to help and open, and we have... Starwin just made a bunch of tutorials you can check out. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Check out Risk of Rain next. That's a really cool run. And yeah.
Alright, excellent. Yeah, we'll get Risk of Rain set up here in a second. Thank you so much for that run. And we'll be right back with more runs.